Is record. Okay, good evening, everyone, or good time of the day who is watching us in a recording. It's Yevhen Nedoshkivsky here and Vitaly Shkvira. And today we are talking about management styles. We'll start our meeting from a bit of general information regarding this webinar or meetup. Call it as you want. So first of all, I want to thank the organizers, All Stars IT, and I want to say just a few words about our moderator, me. I'm Yevhen Nedoshkivsky. I'm working for All Stars IT. I'm Microsoft Data Platform MVP, L&D manager as well. That's why I'm here actually. And I've been teaching in Kiev Polytechnic Institute. So it's now it's on pause, but let's see. And I also spend a lot of time educating others and helping them and mentoring them. And talking about All Stars IT, the company that has organized this event for today, it's a leading global software research and development company. It's also may help you with technical support and talent acquisition for your project. So if you are interested in these services, you may find in us on the social media. We've been more than 20 years on the market. More than 100 major tech companies are relying on us. We have more than 15 sites in the world, and at this moment, it's more than 1,000 employees globally. If you want to join us, or if you want to recommend a friend, use this QR code and get bonus up to $2,000. We also are on major social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, as I may know. So basically everywhere. Plus, you may easily find us by typing allstarsit.com and you'll reach us. And today we are talking about management styles. Which one is the best? Our speaker today is Vitaly Shkvira. He is a PM professional with experience of more than 10 years in this field. Plus, I know him personally. He's working in IT. He's been working in IT for more than 15 years already. That's a lot of time. He is a member of PMI Ukraine chapter and a frequent volunteer organizer. He's certified Scrum Master as well, authorized AC Agile instructor. He was among top 5 Ukrainian RT awards in 2020. And he also a personal friend of mine. I used to work with him and I learned a lot. And I want to add that he's always delivering his information, his knowledge in a very simple and understandable way. So I would expect that we definitely appreciate this session for today. Thank you, Vitaly. I'm giving you the word.
Awesome, Janya. Thanks a lot for such a really great introduction. Guys, happy to be here. Thanks for the hosting for All Stars IT. This is actually the second meetup that I'm pleased to participate in, by being a headliner. So today we're going to talk about management styles. In a second, I'm going to share my screen. You will let me know if you see the slides. Yep, I'm gonna make that full screen mode. Yep. Do you see the slide?
Yeah,
by the way,
we can definitely see everything. And I want to add to everyone, if you have any questions, please type them. At the end, we will have an opportunity to talk with either and discuss the information that we've learned. But if you have any questions during the meetup itself, just type them into the chat, and the most interesting of them, I'll ask Vitaly. I may interrupt him a bit, but the idea is to answer all of them at the end. Thank you.
Yeah, that's for sure. We're going to have like enough time to cover all the questions, but we will really appreciate your questions, guys, because so I believe that this is one of the main reasons why you are here, just to cover probably your personal interests, your professional interests, covering some situations that you may have or already have in your current career. Yeah, so we are happy just to cover them, me or Zhenya or together, because that guy is already making huge steps in the management as well. So he can help me with covering some probably difficult questions, or giving us some alternative opinion on the things that you may ask for. So I'm not going to stop a lot here, because Zhenya made a really, really great introduction, as I mentioned. So you may find me in different social medias, but Facebook and LinkedIn are more preferable just to use. So I'm happy. Please drop me a message. I'm happy to get in touch with you, even if you will have some questions later and would like to ask them. Something will come to your mind. So just not hesitate, dropping a message, adding me as a friend on Facebook or LinkedIn, and ask those questions. I'm happy to cover them. All right, so I'm a delivery director working for SoftServe currently, and having over the 10 years in IT management, started as manager in ITSM, I mean IT operations, later on switching to the project management purely. But to be super honest, that operational management experience gives me, every time I touch some projects related to the infrastructure, etc., that gives me really, really a great boost comparison with other people. So any kind of managerial experience is very efficient and useful in your career. All right, talking about the agenda, Zhenya already covered that rule that we're going to have the Q&A section at the very end of the presentation. But anyway, so the format is very simple, like 40 minutes, approximately 40 minutes, because sometimes I can talk a lot. I believe that you guys booked 1 hour and a half for today's meetup. So approximately 40 minutes for the main presentation, plus 20 minutes for the Q&A. This is very, very roughly, but more or less, we're going to stick to that agenda. We will overview the definition of management. Then the main meat of the presentation, we will walk you through the management styles. And I prepared a couple of bonus slides for you with the recommendations, with another something tangible that you can take with you after this presentation, on top of the recording that you will have and the presentation materials, I believe so. Yeah. So, and as mentioned, Q&A session. All right. Talking about the management as a science, yeah. Just by Wikipedia, management is the administration of organization, anything related to business or non-profit organizations or government. So this is the science that teaches you how to manage processes, people, anything. Yeah. And I just put in bold this word, like the art, because definitely managerial art is something unique and special. And referring to this art, I'm going to walk you through the styles. In any art, we may have different styles, like in music, in cinematography, etc. So here we also have different managerial styles, I would say. They predominantly related to the behavior and approaches, how we approach the management. But anyway, you can definitely observe some differences between different managers, yeah, and they may use the same frameworks, they may use the same tools, they may manage the same teams, projects, domains, but they are sometimes very, very different. And this refers to the management style. By the way, like since we have 15 people here, probably it makes sense just to ask some rhetorical question. What do you think? Can we recognize some managerial style as the most efficient or more efficient than another one, or it is just depending on something? All right. So if you have any ideas, you can drop them to the chat. But so the answer here is that we can't say that this style or that style is much better than another one, because there is no silver bullet here. And I just made this caption or topic of our conversation today a bit catchy, like saying that, which Kung Fu style is better or stronger, but no one can tell you that this particular one management style is much better than that one. So it really, really depends on, I will tell you on what, but a bit later. So starting with the overview of managerial styles. Authoritative. This one, you may as you may understand, is like it's very self-explanatory. So this is about the managers who are very direct. They don't need people who may raise any alternative opinion, who may raise any ideas, etc. So they just need some doers who will do exactly what they say. And sometimes we may call such type of management like red management. But there is, not only from my understanding, but by a lot of opinions, there is only one situation when this managerial style can be efficient and should be used for sure as a rule when you are in a crisis. So if you have some crisis situation on your project, in your unit, in your team, doesn't matter. You should directly tell your people what to do, even without the explanation, without the argumentation why they need to do that. Because of what? Because you don't have enough time to play with that democracy, to ask questions, to explain your decisions, etc. So you need to get your project back on track. So this is the explanation. As soon as you are there, I mean, as soon as you get back on track, you may switch to another styles, whatever you prefer, or whatever works well for your team. But when you're in a crisis, you need to directly tell everyone what needs to be done, and you should be in a hurry just to resolve the crisis. Zhenya, you probably remember that case. I will not tell what case exactly, because it's kind of like sensitive information, but we worked with Zhenya in different companies, and we had some different cases. Some of them were not very pleasant, but it was really great experience being involved in that one of the crises we had previously. And you remember that we just directly navigated people what to do. Everyone had his own role with no questions why we should go there or here, just doing 24/7, 24/7.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Vitaly, is it like the fastest management style? Like no, like the most, I won't say efficient, but perhaps most time saving for manager.
Yeah, this is the main reason actually why we should use this style. And you know, in such cases, your team gonna be working in some forçage mode, I would say, and it is hard to keep the same level of the performance. So you can apply that style just for a while, like 1 week, 2 weeks, as soon as you get back on track. Sometimes we may use such let's say, tool which named War Room. Yeah, when your project in a crisis, or you're very close to the release, or you released with some issues and you need to resolve those issues as soon as possible, you can organize some war room, just collocate it, all the people, and navigate them what needs to be done. The drawback, the main drawback of this authoritative managerial style is that you won't have any creative ideas, and when you are not in crisis, you shouldn't apply this style, because nobody will bring any new idea. Everyone just will be sitting and waiting what manager tells to do. So as I mentioned, this style considers just doers under the manager. So this is it. You won't create any bold things with this managerial style. All right, moving on. So the next one is consultative. This style still keeps the decision-making on manager, but the manager frequently asks for the opinion of other people who are engaged in this or that project, activity, etc. So you will be asked as a team member, what do you think about this or that, or we could go in that way, in this way, etc. This is like more democratic way and more, I would say, Western managerial style, but still, so it is only so the final word by manager. So you're gonna generate some ideas, but the manager will decide what exactly we're gonna do. The plus of this is that it increases the level of the team's creativity, and every team member, when he or she is being asked for some idea, opinion, comment, etc., will feel that he or she brings some significant value to the team, to the company, to the project, which is very important for almost, I believe, almost all of the people across the globe. So being important, making contribution, making that difference is very important, because we are not talking about like covering basic needs. We are talking about some people, especially we're talking about IT. We are creating something new, so we need to be involved in the ideas generation, etc. So this one works much better when you need to create some stuff, and when you need to create when you need to move together, not just being directed by somebody, only one person. Means that we like it is much better to have different opinions and then consolidate. Definitely it takes more time, but when you are not in a crisis, you have this beauty just to ask people for some ideas, etc. As you remember, like some people told, I don't remember who exactly, probably it was Steve Jobs, that we are hiring smart people, not to tell them what to do, but they should tell us what we need to do, being like efficient or succeeded. What I forget to mention is that regarding the previous one is the famous representative of this authoritative managerial style. So I'm not going to tell you about like Genghis Khan, Napoleon Bonaparte. It's pretty like clear that those dictators were like using that authoritative, and I believe that times were not any other styles that were like figured out or synthesized, but they were like dictators. But nowadays, some really famous people like Elon Musk still uses this way of leadership, this way of management style. So Elon Musk, in example, he's a visionary, and he needs to direct people to something much bigger, and his ideas sometimes, or very often, they are like ahead of I don't know, ahead of timeline. Yeah, they're just pioneering ideas. A lot of his products just were breaking through. All right, so moving on. Unfortunately, I didn't find really great representatives of this consultative managerial style, but the next one is very similar to the consultative one. And I've got a couple of good examples of the people who used or use this this approach, like Bill Gates or Indra Nooyi is general manager of PepsiCo. Yeah. So democratic or participative is even softer than that consultative, because while the manager still needs the opinions, the people in the team participates in making decisions. So this is the main difference between these styles. So you, on top of you just generate the ideas, you can participate in decision making, like, I don't know, 10 people voting. You might recall some approaches like, I don't know, 3 dots voting approach, like voting for the retrospective items that should be taken to the sprint. In example, who knows Scrum, who uses Scrum, or like 3 dots voting, any other voting is very heavily used across the industry, and even not in IT, but just across any teams that create some stuff. So definitely it helps to increase the creativity of the team, and it helps to attract people. It helps to like engage people more, and they are much more ready to make that extra mile. I mean, because they understand that they are involved in something. They just don't need to come in the morning and out of office at the evening. So they are fully involved in creating some product or solution, etc., because they feel that they are valued, and they don't feel that there is any hierarchy in the company, because manager stands at the same level with them, communicating on daily basis, asking for the ideas, etc. So sometimes you may observe or may hear such a phrase or combination of words like flat structure of the companies, etc. So that means that everyone is valued, doesn't matter which level that person takes, junior developer, QA, or architect. Everyone's opinion matters, and this also takes even more time just to move the team to some goal, but on a long term, it brings much better result, because, you know, sometimes even if you are the manager who had this relevant experience, in example, you're managing just a team of the developers, you had really great experience before, and you understand the kitchen, let's say, but definitely sometimes for some questions you're not the best expert, you're not the smartest guy in the room, so you should ask for opinions, you should ask for the comments, people should have the opportunity to challenge your ideas or decisions. Otherwise, so everything otherwise you like it may lead to some issues or problems in future, because definitely, in example, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, when you was a developer, one set of tools, approaches, etc., was used, but these days completely another tool set may be used, completely another approaches, etc., and you may don't know about them. So I remember one really top manager who just jumped in some of our meetings. We were developing some interesting solution, and nobody writes like direct SQL selects from the application layer to the database. But that guy 10 years ago was a developer, and he just insisted on these approaches, etc. So I mean that you should trust using this participative or democratic managerial style. You should trust your people. You may challenge them, but definitely you should act as an equal team member. All right, let's proceed to another one. This one is laissez-faire, and this one is even like less managerial, I would say. Yeah, you just sometimes as a manager, you can hands off, like letting people do whatever they prefer, because they know the main goal that they need to achieve, and you act as a consultant or advisor or mentor. Anybody from the team can come to you asking for some advice, and you start being like just like a mentor. You just can explain something, making some doodling, dropping some articles, etc. So this is a completely another way how you should do things, and you know, this just a facilitative leader or servant leader, that you just let your people do what they need to do, and you need just to create the proper atmosphere and support at that point, so that they need your support, but you don't intrude into their plans, into their decisions, etc. You're just being used as a advisor or consultant. This is it. Sometimes that works well. In example, probably all of you know Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world. He is a good representative of this style. Just imagine, like, the guy didn't directly manage his business, I mean, like from the style standpoint, yeah. He managed, but just being as an advisor, and he was succeeded. He was succeeded. All right, so the drawbacks or cons of this managerial style is that sometimes you need to jump in to work with your guys, even sometimes direct them. But if you are not prepared to do that, just being a mentor, telling people what the book says or how it should be in the ideal world, sometimes you may fail. So just don't use this style very often. You should apply this style when you clearly understand that the people in your team are mature enough, responsible enough, they have the feeling of ownership to deliver the things. Otherwise, you will have a total chaos that you will never manage and you will never achieve the results. So this is for sure. Just please don't use that heavily, only for those people who are very mature and they can act in autonomic mode, like without any direction, any management. So just for the mature people. In example, you have a couple of people that may be your successors, like they have approximately the same level of expertise and they can cover everything that you should cover. So this is only the situation that you may rely on this managerial style. This one is like persuasive, is a bit similar to that authoritative one, but the main difference here is that the manager explains why he or she makes this or that decision. Not just telling people what to do, but explaining or convincing them that this decision gonna lead us to the best result. So, and that's why you guys need to do this or that. That's why we are moving here or there. That's why we are just, I don't know, changing people in the team or changing the structure, or I don't know, select a different tool set, whatever. You need to provide the reasoning for your decision. And so this is what this style is about. And definitely this style can motivate people. They learn a lot because they can understand way or your thinking. Like an example, all right, so the manager just made this decision because of XYZ. So now I understand when I'll be in the similar situation, I'm gonna follow the same logic or similar logic. So the famous raps of this style is you probably remember like Martin Luther King or Winston Churchill. Yeah, those people were really great representatives of this style. So on top of you are driving people somewhere, you explaining why we need to go there. So this is the persuasive managerial style. I believe the last, but not least, is collaborative. It is also like self-explanatory when you just engage people in doing something, and this is also about the flat structure, etc. But now we are talking about the like self-organized teams who may hear that expression. You may hear like especially talking about some agile approaches in project management. So you may see that you may hear that expression like self-organized teams, and everyone is actively participating in the working on some like products or solutions, whatever. So this one seems to be the one of the commonly used, the heavily used across the industry, I mean IT industry, and this one like works very well. But on the other hand, you hardly reach really ambitious results, because when you just create some collaborative atmosphere, you are letting people to also make some decisions, and it may lead your project, or it can like distract your direction where you should go to. So means that you should be very careful with that. So you need to accurately navigate in people, just getting them to the guardrails, sticking to the ultimate goal that we need to achieve only in that time. In that case, you may achieve the results. I mean, ambitious results, not just result for 2 weeks of iteration or something, but you should always remind on the main goal or main objective of the project or any occasion. So this is it about managerial styles, but it is not all the content that I prepared for you today. I'm gonna walk you through a couple of slides more. I just defined like 6 essential managerial styles. You may search the internet, you will find like in some overviews like 8 styles, in some overviews 10 styles. Even considering 6 styles, you may see that they are overlapping a bit, yeah, between each other, because you can't clearly separate one style from another, because in every person you may observe different styles depending on the exact situation. And this is why I just prepared another slide that called situational leadership. And you may search the internet, you may find this expression, and you find this like framework, I would say. What this framework is about. Depending on the exact team member, exact situation, every manager should apply different managerial style, because you shouldn't probably, or definitely you shouldn't direct your architect what he exactly needs to do, how he needs to create the solution architecture, because he knows or she knows how to do that much better than you do, you know. On the other hand, for some junior team member, you should directly navigate or tell what exactly he needs to do, just providing all the details. And this is the main like idea of this situational leadership. So depending on the exact person you're acting with, talking to, depending on the exact situation on the project, you may choose this mask. And as a good manager, as an efficient manager, you should you should know these Kung Fu styles, at least a couple of them, like 3-4 different managerial styles that you can easily switch to depending on the situation. For some people, it goes much better, much easier because they're natural skills. For some people, it requires like more time to learn, but you need to catch up the skills. You need to develop the skills just to be efficient manager. Otherwise, just using only one style, which is given you by nature, you will not be succeeded. This is for sure. So you may search the situational leadership, you will have all the materials, but the framework is very simple. Like depending on the experience of the person, you should apply like more directive behavior or supportive behavior. So there are like 4 quadrants here. You will search and you will learn this framework. It is very simple and but on the other hand is very efficient, I would say. All right, and then the bonus, first bonus, and I'm gonna give you another one. So this one is about leadership circle profile, and why I just prepared this QR code. You may scan it and you will be redirected to the leadership circle profile, that self-assessment test that you can pass, and you will have as the result, you're going to have the diagram which explains which areas are developed better or less developed in your exact profile. So you're going to have like 20, 30 or 20, 25 minutes of your time just answering the questions, and you will have the comprehensive report. Is for free. And why I just suggested you to pass that, it's not even the test, it's just a quiz. You need to pass that. You will have the results, you will have the diagram, you will understand what areas are better developed, what areas you need to develop just to keep your leadership profile balanced well. Because it is not very good when you have like really great developed areas is okay, but if you have some disbalance in your profile, means that you need to catch up with other areas. So just I really recommend to pass through that quiz, get the results, and then use like there are a lot of approaches how you can make this like professional development plan, but this is definitely really great insights that you're going to have. As soon as you pass that quiz, you will have the comprehensive report and you can develop your PDP and then put it on the timeline and develop yourself as a professional. So I really recommend to do that. And another bonus is this recommendations. So there are links under each section, under each string. So I just compiled a couple of really interesting books that I would recommend to you, YouTube channels, articles, podcasts, and some certifications of courses that you may pass just to develop yourself as a professional. So you will get the materials and just don't waste time, just follow the links, select the podcast that you may listen to regularly. You may watch the YouTube channels, just subscribe and develop your skill set, guys. All right, so this seems to be it. I really appreciate your time, that you joined us today, and I will be happy to cover your questions, guys. So please ask any questions that you are interested to listen the answer.
Thank you a lot. Actually, I've been making notes and wrote down some of the questions, quite interesting ones. From myself, others may join us by typing or voicing them afterwards. Like you mentioned, that anyone has their natural management style. Are you telling us that everybody has some kind of a management style that, like, inbuilt in them that they usually prefer to use? Like they were born with, or what?
Yeah, you know, it's just based on the I would say psychotype of the person. Like, you know, that some people are very calm, some people are energetic, or like some people are not very calm. Some people love directing others what to do, but they don't want to do anything. Some people love to teach other people how they should do their work, etc. So it's just comes from the people's psychotype and nature, his or her childhood. A lot of factors can form your natural soft skills, natural leadership skills.
What about yourself? What is your default management style? What is your favorite one?
To be super honest, what I value in any manager that I worked with or currently work with, that like wiping out that hierarchy. So I would like to be an equal team member with everyone, no matter what position this or that person occupies. Yeah. And I try to apply this approach to other. And I really love that in my managers. And I try to be as more like flat, building a flat structure, being a not boss, but leader, and being in the same boat with my people. So I would say that it is by my nature, because I'm very, very comfortable doing things in that way. I don't really like being like authoritative, but this week I had at least 2 conversations being that kind of person, you know, because we were a bit in crisis.
I do understand. Yeah, sometimes it happens. We have quite an interesting question from Anastasia. Actually, I want others to participate. Gentlemen, ladies, if you have any questions, even the blunt ones, feel free to ask. And Anastasia is asking you, first of all, she's thanking you. And her question, how in democratic collaborative styles people take responsibility for their decisions if they were discussed and took decisions together? Actually, it's quite a good question, because like the responsibility is being spread. So how to take it, how to take responsibility.
Uh, every single task should have an owner, yeah, and that owner is responsible to deliver. He or she may organize other people around that task, but at the very end, that person going to be responsible. But ultimate responsibility still lays in the manager responsibility area. Just giving people the credits to make decisions doesn't mean that they may make decisions by their own. You should just accurately navigate those people to the right decisions, because at the end of the day, you're going to be responsible for this or that decision. And if they fail, you fail as a manager. So this is just kind of art when you navigating people, directing them, but doing that in that way that they feel that they do that, not you.
So no matter what kind of management style you use, like you as a manager is always responsible, but like all the tasks should have their own owners. Do I understand you correct?
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean that you can break down like big tasks on different on smaller pieces, just populating them across the people. But it is better when everyone just takes his or her own task, saying that I'm going to be responsible for this task or that task. But at the end of the day, as I mentioned, you're going to be responsible for that. How I like develop my people, I let them fail with the tasks that are not very critical to the project. They will learn a lot from that fails, and next time you can let them work on more important stuff, and they will not let you down because they got that experience that they failed, and they will not apply the same mistakes on the other tasks.
Wow, that's actually quite thoughtful, that's new for me. So thank you for sharing this. Um, Ihor has quite an interesting comment that regarding autocratic, he thinks that nowadays in critical situations, we need to rely on and consult with the expertise of our subordinates, as in more cases, they are more aware about issues that appeared from the tech perspective. I think it's not so about authoritative, but about consultative, like merging those two styles. Vitaly, uh, actually, when you mentioned this authoritative style, I have experienced this a lot in my career, but usually, like the whole organization is being led in this style. And you mentioned that in some critical situations, you may switch from other styles to authoritative. May I ask you how to I don't know, how to handle people. For example, you've been working in quite democratic environment, and suddenly everything goes south, and you need to uh, manage them with a strong hand, switching to authoritative style. But a lot of people may be offended by that. Like I know that you have experienced this. So how to handle these situations? Because they might be so offended that they will leave the company, they will take grudges, they will post negative reviews on social media and so on. So how to handle this?
Yeah, this is a really good question. Just I would like to get back to the first part of the question. Guys, please don't mix the like consultative style with the cases when you just consult people. It is not about like I'm gonna go to Zhenya saying how to manage the databases. It is about I just getting his opinion, not giving my opinion how to do that. So, but talking about the authoritative managerial style, as mentioned, this one should be applicable only for crisis period. In like almost all of the cases, it's going to be short periods. Otherwise, you are not very good manager when you handle this crisis like for weeks or months. So short period doesn't give the understanding for people that they're going to be under that pressure all the time. So you need to consolidate people saying, you know what, guys, we are in not really pleasant situation and we need to get back on track as soon as possible. And what we're going to do, X, Y, Z. And I'm not going to tell Zhenya how to restore the database or how to restore the data. I just give him a really concrete task. Zhenya, we have like, I don't know, 8 hours to restore this bunch of data. I know that you're an expert, you know how to do that, but I need a result. So this is the way. They should understand, but definitely creative people can't like show constant results being under that pressure, because like some people, some managers, even top managers, use this kind of style. And you may read a lot of articles, interviews of the people who were working for Tesla or other companies who that are ran by Elon Musk. He's not the best guy to work with, for sure. He's rude sometimes, he's very direct, but he needs to be as he is, because he just like he has really ambitious goals. He doesn't care about people. He cares about the goal. You saw the last news when he cut 19K of people from Twitter or something.
A lot of them.
Are they happy with that decision? I don't think so.
So as I may understand, like summarizing this, like if we are talking about a democratic environment in general, and we are switching to authoritative type of management, people need to understand that it's temporary. In this case, they will like wait when it will end, and they won't do anything bad because it's temporary, and they understand that. At the same time, like you shouldn't use this all the time, correct?
Yeah, Zhenya. So I would give you another example. So you're in the sky, like having some flight, and the plane gonna be in turbulence zone for a while, like 20 minutes, 15 minutes. What cabin crew says? Fasten your seatbelt, close up the table, close up the laptop, everything should be switched off, etc., and just sit and wait while we are being in that turbulence zone. As soon as it disappears and we are fine, you can walk through the cabin, you may use a toilet, you can drink coffee, etc., etc. So just it is temporary. You need to explain that to people.
Yeah, I do agree. Actually, it's quite a good example. Yeah, for sure. Okay, and we have more questions and comments. One from Igor. How do you select such tasks for team members to fail? It's always seems hard to predict when guy will fail. A good one.
It's you can't always predict or like be an oracles or something that you can see the future, but definitely based on your experience, understanding the level of the person. In example, I will give you an example, just live example, just recent one. I have a guy who is really good manager, but he is just at the very beginning of his career. I have a request from the client to prepare the contract for really small amount of money. Yeah, small amount of revenue, really small business if I compare with my entire portfolio. And I have a duty to prepare this contract for 1 week or 2 weeks, because usually such requests should be handled like in a couple of hours, and you need to throw away the prepared contract because it's money. Yeah, but sometimes you may have this beauty just to let people learn how to work with some legal documents, etc. So what I do, I have 2 weeks of the timeline. So this is the hard deadline in 2 weeks. What I do, I give the example how to do that for that guy. I give the blank or template of the legal document he needs to use. I give all the guidance. I give the support, answering some ad hoc questions, etc. Saying, you know what, buddy, I need that contract ready, production ready. Let's say just being ready to send out to the client in 1 week. I'm pretty confident that he gonna deliver the contract that I need to adjust, polish, etc. But I'm gonna have the entire week after that. So he fails, in his opinion, then we sit together, I will explain all the points that he missed, explaining why we should do this or that, why we should adjust this section or that section before I send it to the client. And then I share the final version of the document to the client and making that retrospective, like, you know what, this is the version that sent out to the client, and here are the list, here are your mistakes. And next time, that guy, if he's smart enough, otherwise I'm going to drop him from the team, he will not repeat the mistakes. That's it.
Smart, really smart. Thanks, Vitaly. Dmitro is asking, are there actual examples of places where the ultimate decision is not on the manager? Like no veto, no nothing, like where the decisions are being made by the I don't know, community or group of people.
I'm going to give you another example of that. Real example. And we're still in negotiations on how to approach that from the contract standpoint. Just a second. I have a client, very trusted client, more than 10 years collaboration history between SoftServe and that client. And we signed off the contract, which considers like migration of the workloads, part of their workloads from on-premise to Azure. Just lift and shift. Historically, that client heavily used AWS services rather than Azure, but globally, they signed off the contract between that client and Microsoft. And that was a business decision going to Microsoft predominantly. Somehow, that stakeholders team under him convinced him to leave a part of the infrastructure, not migrating that to Azure, but migrating to AWS. Why so? They've got much better experience with AWS. They've got power. They've got authority in front of that client. And that guy was smart enough making that decision because it doesn't violate the agreement between Microsoft and that client, because the amount of workloads they're going to migrate to AWS will not generate a lot of consumption that Microsoft will earn money from. On the other hand, they will be very confident with the that infrastructure maintenance, because the people he manages, they know AWS much better. So this is an example when the team can convince manager to make completely another decision. What we currently do, we stop the contract with Microsoft. We are trying to sign off the contract with AWS, migrating those workloads to AWS rather than to Microsoft. That's it.
So it's like company specific. Like there are situations where
it really depends on the culture of the company, because some clients are very autocratic, I would say, even just between the service provider and the client. Some clients carefully listen to what we suggest. Other clients says, you know, we are not interested listening to your opinions. We know exactly what we need to do. We need just experts, some extra hands whom to do that with. That's it. Please don't tell us what we need to do. Don't tell us about the directions we need to go. We just need some resources, in good meaning, resources to deliver. That's it.
Nice. Okay, I'm also asking everyone to ask questions, or rather I'm trying to persuade people to ask questions, but I have a bit more from myself. Vitaly, this management by walking, like you have put some term from French. I cannot pronounce this, like laissez-faire or
Laissez-faire, yeah.
laissez-faire. Okay. So I do understand how this can work for team leaders, for like middle management. But what about top executives? Like it's much more responsibility on them, like without knowing everything. I'm not talking like micromanaging people or by knowing each detail, but being aware of everything, being in control of everything. Is it possible to have a successful company, to have a successful structure by managing by walking? Is it like live, something that can be alive? And if yes, how often is this? Like, is it common?
It's a really good question. So you know that some companies or all the companies are being created by somebody or a couple of people, or thinkers, let's say, partners. When they are succeeded, apparently they will move to some management board. Yeah, like they are not occupying some positions like general manager or something. What they really do is to set the goals in numbers like volume of business, profit, etc., and smart people who are under them, they in fact rules everything and they achieve these goals. To say that the management board are not driving the company, not, but do they participate in the decisions? Do they generate the decisions, etc.? From time to time, probably they generate some ideas, but they let those people do what they know, what they should do, and they know well how to do that just to achieve the goals. And in example with the development teams, you say that, guys, we've got this set of work items that need to be delivered this sprint, and the goal of the sprint is here. We need to achieve some goal. If you have smart enough people, mature enough, they understand what to do to achieve that goal. You just need to facilitate them, or just in case they need your support or advice, they will ping you. If not, please don't touch them. They will achieve without you.
So, as I may understand, like at some stage of company evolution, like the CEO or the owner or the founder, they went from operations to strategic management. Like they are above all of this small stuff and they are just thinking big.
Yeah. So in case you started engagement, project, initiative, etc., from the very beginning, it is not framed well and it is not up and running. Yeah. But it takes some time, and in a couple of weeks or months, you see that everything is rolling well, and you spend less and less time jumping in, managing, providing some decisions, directions, etc. You see that everything is secure and sustained. You can hands off and concentrate on some strategic stuff, other initiatives, new ideas, whatever you prefer.
Fantastic. Sense.
I've got the account. The head count of engineers there are 50 plus. In total, with managers and other leadership staff, we've got there 60 people, not 16, but 60.
That's a
half
lot.
of 100 people. And that part of business is moving well for years. I barely jump in to their meetings. People know what to do there.
Fantastic. Okay, if somebody else also has questions, please type them or voice yourself. One more question from me. Persuasive management style, like you need to explain people, make them understand why you make such a decision. And I have been experiencing this for years, that sometimes I have a feeling that I'm not a manager, but I'm rather some kind of a slave of these people, because I need to round around and persuade them, make them feel why this is important, why we need to do this. Uh, are there any ways on how to do this in a more simpler way? Like, I don't want just to switch to authoritative type of management and say, okay, like, I'm tired, let's do this in that way because I said that. I want them to feel, to understand, but sometimes it's quite difficult to uh, do this with everyone. Any hints?
Uh, if you have the team or key people in the team developed enough to link or to understand the final goal or ultimate goal of the project, any engagement, you name it, to cascade this goal into understandable set of actions, tasks, etc. And if you have this type of people in your team, you shouldn't explain what they need exactly to do. You should say that, guys, we need to achieve this result in that timeline, with that efforts, with that team, with that quality, etc. And you will see how it will move. But definitely, you less likely will have all the people with this level of maturity. For some people, you can explain the task on one level of abstraction. To other people, you should tell just exactly what they need to do. And this is about situational leadership.
When you started to answer, I recall that in football games, like football video games, there is this parameter teamwork. In Ukrainian, it's zigranist, how team members are good in feeling each other, like how they cooperate, how fast they may understand the idea of others, what they want to do. So probably it's something that needs to be increased if there are such problems. Like you need to improve your teamwork in general, like to make people cooperate better, to understand each other better.
Yeah, and another good tool is that if you have really good people that you can rely on, you can delegate some piece of work to those people, saying that, you are our lead. Do you mind, please, mentoring that junior guy, explaining what exactly needs to be done? Because ultimate goal is here, and you understand what needs to be done. But you need to explain what this junior should do, and this is going to be a part of the entire result. So he needs to generate this set of deliverables, you need to generate that set of deliverables. And if you are a good manager, you should understand how to delegate the work. And that guy can explain to the junior what exactly the junior needs to do. And you will not ask that junior, you will ask that guy, that lead for the result.
Yeah,
Actually,
actually, it's one of the skills for manager, like delegation. How good can you do this? Yeah.
oh yeah,
Thank you,
that's
thank you. Yeah, it's a big problem for a lot of beginners. Okay, the last questions from myself, and it's also related to this more relaxed type of management, types of management, as I call them, like democratic, and this management by working, uh, and collaborative one. Sometimes there is an internal fight in teams, fight for power, as I would rather say, for future promotions. There are some people who are very, very initiative. They're seeking to grow, and they are very competitive. And sometimes they want to sabotage other people work to feel better with such background. So how to alleviate this situation when there is some kind of internal fight? How to see this, first of all, how to find out, and how to benefit from this and not to get into the trouble?
Yeah, this is really complicated question, but it happens when you have some competitive environment. If you are lucky, you can build such type of competitive environment when it gives better result, because everyone tries to deliver more with better quality, faster, better, harder, you know. If you see that some people being toxic and you can't get them to normal, and you understand that it affects the results of the entire project, it decreases the team performance, etc., you definitely need to try to resolve that. And if you see that it is hard to resolve, or not, or that person who is being a detractor doesn't want to get back to normal and to collaborate, what you need to do is just to drop that person from the team. This is for sure, because you as a manager responsible for the final result. And I had two persons who were supposed to occupy the position of QA lead. Both ladies were very, very skilled, but that time I should made a decision who I leave with the team and who I need to switch to another project, because I saw that it's starting affecting the team performance and the team atmosphere, morale, etc. Not saying that that lady is better than another one. Both ladies are very good professionals and they know what to do, but they were in competition because both of them just wanted to get that position. The key factor for me for making a decision who should stay with the team, who should go to another team, was the majority of the team follows which lady, this or that. So I realized that I just made some, I don't know, observations, understanding that one lady is a better leader on her position, and like better opinion leader, or has better authority to others. And I just decided to drop that another lady, just letting her select another project, and everyone is happy now.
Fantastic, fantastic. This is quite a good example, like to observe, to find who is better with people, and do something with another one. Yeah, thank you, thank you. Okay, I see no other questions in chat. Actually, some of the attendees has already left. Gentlemen, ladies, perhaps you want to speak up, to use your microphones. You have the opportunity to add your comments or to ask questions. Okay, I think we are done. Vitaly?
No questions, just want to say thank you both, guys.
Thank you.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming. That's for sure.
You guys.
You too. You look lovely, by the way.
As well as you, Evgeny, as always.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Vitaly, thank you a lot. Do you have any final words?
I just wanted to once again say that appreciate your time, guys. It was my pleasure just being with you today. Wishing you a great evening, and just don't forget to pin me in social media if you just would like to get in touch, or you would like to ask some questions later on. So feel free to do that. Thanks, Janya. Thanks, All Stars AT, for beautiful hosting one more time. Shows every time I'm very happy just to be here. And the stuff you do, guys, is very important just to develop the community, to develop people, letting them, giving them the opportunity to learn, to make the next step or prepare to the next steps in their careers. So wishing you all the best. Take care. Cheers, guys. It was really, really great evening. And hope to see you again.
Fantastic. Vitaly, it was our pleasure. I hope it's not the last time. You are always such a great guest, such a great speaker. It was very insightful meetup, especially during the Q&A session. Like, I've learned some new stuff, that's for sure, and something that I would definitely use in my work. So very, very interesting, very, very helpful. Thanks a lot. And if you want to see the slides, if you want to repeat something, and if you want to share this information, watch us on YouTube and follow us on social media, All Stars IT, for upcoming events, for upcoming meetups. Thanks a lot and have a great evening. Bye.
Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.